You're listening to Me and Paranormal You with your host, Ryan Singer. It's more fun to believe. Third year bonus.
A third year bonus is now. Okay, hey everybody, I am back. You didn't even know I lent anywhere. I left and went anywhere. Turned into one word. Turned into lent. Okay, so I'm gonna give up saying that word combination for 40 days and 40 nights. There was a weird noise. There was a ghost in the machine. It's gone now. So we're back. And by ghost in the machine, I mean a weird helicopter ticking noise. Nothing fun or interesting. I mean, I say that now, but who knows? It could be a signal from space. Any hoodles. Welcome to Me and Paranormal You. This is a 30-year bonus, which is a solo episode. Can we just take a moment and appreciate the last week and a half of the show? I've had so much fun for the last 2 weeks on this show. Karen Rontowski, Dash Kwiatkowski. I mean, I think I need another person. I need a third Owski. So to get on the show. So that just happened to happen. I'm realizing that now. 30-year bonuses have been fun. Nigel Nigel being Nigel. So anywho, Doles. I think I said that second time. I recorded some, so I don't remember what I said before. I feel like I'm in a walking deja vu experience of life in general. I hope you're doing well. I hope this finds you well. Hope you're in good health. I'm hearing that there is my friend Carolyn in Florida is telling me about the COVID variant that is really just knocking people on their ass down in Florida. So I hope you're staying healthy. And you're feeling okay. And apparently it takes a while for it to even show up. So I don't know. I'm hoping that doesn't just, get a bunch of us, fingers crossed, be a little extra careful out there, with your hand washing and, all that good stuff. Don't be going to any spit parties. Don't be going to parties where people are just spitting in each other's mouths. Okay. I'm talking to you kids. Kids love spitting in each other's mouths. So don't do that. Just for a little while, okay? Let's get into spooky season, all feeling healthy. And some of you are being like, it's already spooky season. And no, it's not. It's still summer, okay? The lizards will cling on to summer as long as we can. Spooky season hasn't quite started yet, at least not for the lizard camp. I'm in the lizard camp, firmly placed in the lizard camp. Let's weigh the scales. The lizards love weighing scales because they got scales. Do they? I don't know if they do or not, actually. So that reminds me, I haven't watched House of Dragon for the last 2 weeks. I got 2 episodes of House of Dragon. If it's not too late and I can get enough work done. It's already late here. Okay. Let me, there's a couple things. I promise, Nigel is going to jump down my throat if I don't get focused. So let's focus up. Lots of things to talk about. Patrons are probably wondering, like, WTH, my guy, because you were posting until 6 a.m, different posts last night. Yeah, I went on one. I was on one last night into the morning. I was awake until 6 a.m. designing something. Patrons will know what I'm talking about. I should make those available even for the free patrons so they can see what I'm talking about here. But I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. But there's a new show coming. There is a new, Milkshake Town / Outside Minds production that will be coming to the podcast airwaves to you very, very soon. And the reason I'm telling you is because I'm doing an outreach. I'm doing a call. I'm making a call out to the world that it involves your participation and interactive. My therapist told me just this afternoon, in fact, that I thrive on interaction more so than contemplation. And I told him, we had 10 seconds left in our session, and I said, That sounds very interesting, but I have no idea what it means. And I know what it means, kind of, right? You can kind of take some context clues and figure that out. But I thrive with the interactive nature of life. I love to sit around and contemplate as well. I like to read things. I like to be a student. One of my favorite things is to be a student. Maybe I'll just go back to grad school and just see if I can get my debt up to 6 figures. Because why not just go for it, right? Why not just lean into, that life and just go 6 figures on it? I like that. I like the way that sounds, 6 figures. So, the call. There is a new show coming to what will be turning into, I suppose, some kind of miniature podcast network over here, the Outside Minds Network, which I will be kind of curating, right? And there's a few other shows that are still, we'll see what happens with them, that aren't my shows, that might be joining the Outside Minds Network. So, but this one, plus another live stream show, Late Night on the Astral Plane. I think I've gone back to that name instead of Paranormal Carnival. And I am a fickle man. So will I go Paranormal Carnival again in a few weeks? I don't know. I can't do that show until I am in my home. And my home is almost finished being fixed after the Tesla ran into it. So, but I will be on the road until early September. Just had some confirmations on some things actually this afternoon. So I'll be back in LA by mid-September and to settle in, buy a bed, and set up Late Night on the Astral Plane, which will be a weekly live stream show, which I'm very excited about. It'll have guests, it'll have skits, it'll have segments, it'll have all kinds of things. And it'll be live stream, and then it'll come out the next day as a podcast. So I believe it's going to be Tuesday nights. If I'm not mistaken, it'll be Tuesdays, probably around, 9 p.m. West Coast time. So it'll be a late night show. It's called Late Night on the Astral Plane, maybe 10 o'clock. Anyway, so that's neither here nor there in this moment. In this moment, I'm excited to tell you, and I think I've settled on the name, and I haven't, to be honest with you, Paranonymous. People call in anonymously and share their paranormal stories. Many people have very interesting stories, and they don't feel comfortable sharing them because of people in their lives or their job or etc. And there is a multitude of reasons where people do not want to share their supernatural experiences and or paranormal, unexplainable, high strange, etc. This show is going to be an opportunity for people to share anonymously. Now, people have shared anonymously on this program, me and Paranormal You. There's been a few people that I can remember off the top of my head. Here's the interesting thing. I don't remember who the people are who did this, but I do know, and I guess which is to the point of this, but I do know there have been more than just a few over the 10 years. There's been more than a few who have used an alias, a fake name. And Paranonymous is going to be just that. Now, there will be, in my mind's eye, exposition narrative, or narrative exposition, backstory, research, information that ties in potentially to the stories that are shared. Not giving away any personal information. What I'm talking about is about the phenomena itself that may have been experienced. If someone is talking about a crazy Sasquatch experience in the Pacific, in a very specific area of the Pacific Northwest, there will be some research and narration about, and some history about that specific area, as much as can be found. So there will be some production that goes into this one. That is more than just the interview. And I know Nigel's over here shaking his head like, oh, you're giving me more work or whatever he'll say. Or you're making me, picking it to the bone or whatever lingo he would use for this. So I'm actually thinking about bringing in a different, oh God, he's going to lose his mind. I'm thinking about bringing in a different producer. I have no idea who that is. Have you ever thought that you'd like to produce a podcast? Reach out to me and maybe I can put you on, get you in touch with Nigel and do that. No, I think I'll be able to convince Nigel to take care of it. So I think we're going to be fine in that area. But I got to tell you, I'm very excited about Paranonymous coming out very, very soon. I'm putting out a call. I'm going to use Zoom. Okay, we'll use Zoom, and Zoom has phone numbers people can call, and it will be a video podcast, a weekly video podcast, without the person being on video, obviously. So that's going to be very, very exciting. I'm excited about that. I don't have a specific launch date yet. It all depends on, if people call, right? So, and people share their stories. I don't know. Might be a half-hour podcast. Might be an hour. Depending on the story, I think it will fluctuate in time. Paranonymous. People sharing paranormal experiences without exposing their identities. I mean, I don't know. That's not the tagline. I'll come up with something better. I'll workshop it. You know what I mean? Through the cloak of secrecy, people will share the unbelievable. Something like that, maybe. Maybe I'll get Nigel to work on it, do some copy editing, copywriting, or write some copy for it. I'm very excited about this show. Paranonymous, baby. Get ready for it. It's coming. It'll be out before the end of August. I can tell you that. If you're listening to this, anywhere close to real time, August 2024. So I'm very, very excited about this new show idea. Let's see if it works. I could be putting a giant paranormal foot in my mouth here in about 2 months and being like, sorry, I don't want to be the guy who always talks about projects that never happen, that I never get around to doing. I do not want to be that person. So on that note, if you would like to be a guest on Paranonymous and share your story anonymously, I'd love to hear your story. I love hearing stories. I don't know if that's obvious or not. After 10 years of doing this podcast and interviewing people about paranormal subjects and esoteric things and et cetera, I don't know if it's clear and obvious, but I do love hearing people's stories. You can learn, and in fact do learn something new from every person you come in contact with, if you're willing to actively listen. That's one of my mottos. Be a student, live more, love more, listen more. Ooh, I just added the listen more to that one. That's my motto. My motto this year has been live more, love more. And so now I'm adding listen more. Okay, there we go. I like that. 3 L's. So an update on other projects. Fitz, the documentary about the mutilation ranch and the cattle mutilations happening at a cattle ranch outside of Trinidad, Colorado is, oh baby, is it chugging along. I am now moved into essentially almost a picture lock, which if you don't know like the lingo or whatever, basically that means I've pretty much got the movie done in theory. Now I'm fixing up, cleaning up, leveling out, doing all that audio stuff, making sure that when you're watching it, you don't have to turn the volume up and then turn the volume down and then turn the volume up. I hate that. Then after that, I will fix the way it looks to make sure it has a uniform look and it has a thematic vibe. The coloring of the film will affect the moods and, just the visual art of the film and transitions, etc. And then I'll create titles, animation, blah, 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 all that. And then, in the meanwhile, it will be, there will be music being added to it as well. If you're wondering when you can see it, that's a very good question. And I don't know the exact answer, but I will tell you this. Right now, the plan is to submit Fitz, Friends in the Sky, to film festivals. And depending on the reception, or if it can get into film festivals, and, depending on how it's received, if it gets into film festivals, then we figure out the distribution route. Now, I will say this, though. Patrons will not have to wait for that. I will be pulling some strings, even though I'm not the executive producer of this documentary. I'm just the editor and also, a participant to a certain degree. But you're not going to... I think there's only maybe 5 seconds on camera you'll see me. So I'm not in this documentary necessarily, even though I've been a part of this story and the investigation. But nonetheless, you're not going to see me in it. But my fingerprints are all over this thing because I've edited the hundreds of hours of footage together. It sounds crazy to say that out loud. So I think you're going to like it. I think you're really going to like it. And I'm not going to tell you what it's like about, right? I'm not going to tell you what it's really about. You know what it's about, but the themes of we know what the movie is about on the surface. But what is the movie? How does the movie resonate with you, and what do you connect to the documentary? That is for you to decide. Now, I have had a few friends be giving me notes for a long time, and one of them said what it was about, and that when they said that, it really resonated with me, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I think you're right. That's what this is really about. But I'm not going to tell you what that is, because I want you to make up your own mind about this. It's not my job to tell you what it's about, because once you release something into the world, it is no longer yours. It is the world's. So I'm very excited for you to see the film and also see what you think it's about. And I can't wait to get feedback. And I do think you're going to love it. So, God, this has been probably the hardest project I've ever worked on in my entire life, as far as painstaking detail, etc. This has been not my white whale, because my white whale is out at sea right now, and I can see the boat getting slowly loaded up with equipment to be in search of that white whale. And boy, oh boy, I don't even want to think about it. It makes me motion sick even thinking about getting on that boat and seeking out my white whale, which is the documentary that will be Florida. The Florida investigations starting in 2019 and leading up to October of this year. We'll be going back for another 5-day, 5-night trip. And so that'll be the third week this year, basically, that we've spent at the property in just this year, 2024. And can you imagine how much footage we've compiled in that story? Oh my goodness gracious. So that's an update on those projects. I've got Shapeshifter, a memoir, which is, about my life in comedy and the paranormal. That is queued up on deck, actually. As soon as this documentary is finished, I am transitioning to that book. And then when I finish that book, I will finish and compile the book about my friend Carolyn. So I believe that is the right way to go about those. And I think those are in the right order. So that's for you, hopefully to read someday, somewhat soon, 2025. There's no way you're reading it in 2024, I'll tell you that. But that'll be the comedy paranormal memoir that that I've written already. I will need to update it because I've had some experiences I can add in now in the last year that I'd probably like to update. So anyway, those are some updates on the happenings in the project. There's many more projects in the pipeline. There's also The Bridge, which is the documentary series that I'm making. And boy, oh boy, I just wish I could do all, I wish I had, I need multiplicity to happen. So I can have multiple versions of myself doing all these things. But what you should know is something that I think is apropos to, all of these different projects. It's that we're seeking information, we're seeking experience, we are on a quest for the unknown. And I believe that the unknown is making itself more available to us now than it ever has before. And why do I say that? Well, there's a couple reasons I'd say that. And we're going to get into those reasons. And we're going to take a quick little break here. We're going to do some mershes. And that's how I say commercial. Mershes. I call Kroger Krogies. I call Starbucks Starbies. I call Dunkin' Donuts Dunkies. I call commercials Mershes. Okay? That's just how I talk. Because I'm a child. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take a quick break. Reminder, patrons, thank you so much for being around. You can be a free patron. I'm telling you. It doesn't cost you anything except your time to go over there and click join for free. You can be a free patron. Maybe I'll put this one ad-free for everybody. Okay, so we'll be right back. Patreon.com/Ryan Singer. $3 a month. No commercials on all the episodes. And we're back. I can't tell if there's, I think it's in my head, man. I think I'm hearing stuff. I've been listening to audio and editing audio, right, and doing tutorials and videos and all kinds of things, for the better part of a week and a half. And so now I'm just so up in the audio. I'm so up in my ears. I'm just all up in my ears, man. You ever been all up in your ears? Okay, so we're back. So I had to hydrate the histrionic highway. That's not what we're going to call my throat. Oh, no. I had to hydrate the ha-ha highway. There we go. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be in Peoria, Illinois this weekend. Friday and Saturday, one show each night. If you're anywhere close to Peoria, I implore you, come on out to a show. Hit me up and I'll hook you up. Hit me up and I will hook you up. If you message me on Instagram at Rising or at me and Paranormal You, or on Facebook, I will get you free tickets. I will get anyone who messages me, I will get you free tickets. I will get you and how many ever people you can muster to come with you. I will put you on the list. I will get you in the show for free. That you have my guarantee on that. This is we kind of booked this, kind of like confirmed this thing pretty late, actually. It's about 24 hours ago, in fact. So it's all very spur of the moment. So miracles can happen. Let's make it happen. I'm going to have a hell of a time performing for you. So come on out and I'll get you in for free. How about that? I've got Poop Life shirts and posters I'll be taking with me. So anyway, all kinds of good stuff. So, and then I'll be in Mason City, Illinois, and I'll be in Bloomington, Illinois. Friday and Mason City on Saturday of next week. So I'm all around Illinois the next 2 weekends. Okay, that business is out of the way. I think that high strangeness, the paranormal, and the supernatural, the mystical, whatever we want to call it, I think it is more willing than ever, potentially. I'm not talking about all phenomena, because clearly certain phenomena have been very willing to communicate with different people at different times throughout history. I'm not trying to make that kind of statement, but I'm saying overall, I think that the floor has been raised of communication from the paranormal and the unknown to us in this material world. How is that not silenced? How's my phone not silenced? Sorry about that. That's an eBay notification. I don't need to be buying baseball cards. So I do believe that communication is, now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's easier than ever before, even though there is a reason to argue that is also the case. So let me talk about that first, actually. I'm sidetracking myself, but it's all for fun. So, we're just flying by the seat of our pants here. Now, I do believe that it is possibly easier to communicate than it has been ever before. And the reason for that is because of the access to devices. Not everybody is a contemplative person. Some people are interactive. Some people want to. I don't even know what this means, and now I'm using it as if I do in other things. Now I'm applying it without, with some context, I suppose. Some people can walk into a haunted location and they can connect to spirit or the ghosts or to whatever energy or entities are in there through their mind, through their, clairvoyance, through ESP, extrasensory perceptions, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance. They can channel. They're connected to their cards, right? And although that's a tool, okay, that's outside of oneself. Although maybe if you've ever had a really good tarot reading, I mean, I've had a few really good readings in my life, to say the least. I've had a bunch of really good readings, and the cards are an extension of the reader. It seems like they really are. It seems like they're just appendages that they've had with them or are part of them the whole time. So, get a reading from Karen Montowski. God, there's so many good readers out there. So, Karen's probably the one who's read me the most. Now, here's what I'll say. Some of us like the gadgets, like the things, like the interaction. We need something to, I don't know, not filter the messages from the other side to us as much as maybe synthesize or make them, transition them into a way we can understand. Now, whether this is a ghost box, an ITC device of some kind, dowsing rods, it is, recorders to try to find EVPs, whether it's REM pods. I'll tell you, there's something about REM pods that light me up. I will most certainly be lighting up people's REM pods when I have moved into the after form. I would be shocked if I wasn't having fun lighting those up like a slot machine for people who had them in a location where I may be floating around at any given moment. And they show up with those REM pods, I'm gonna light them up like it's Vegas, baby. It's gonna be Vegas of the undead. When I'm over there, it bring all the REM pods, bring all the bells, bring all the cat balls, and make sure there are as many different lights as you can, because I am gonna make it like it's gonna be like Mardi Gras. And instead of open containers on the streets, it's gonna be open ITC on the streets. I am just gonna be lighting up every device that makes me feel like it's Christmas again. I love Christmas lights. Did you know that about me? I will hang Christmas lights in my room right now. Don't dare me. I can't. I'm not in my room, but I wish I could maybe non-locally make it happen. I could port some, lights onto the wall somehow with my mind. So yes, I think that I like that. So I like interacting. I like using those devices when I'm on an investigation. I feel like you can get answers. You can set up a system of communication through a device, something like that. For example, in Florida, I was trying to get very specific answers to questions about a portal using a millimeter, and the lights on the millimeter were what were guiding the conversation, and I loved it. I was jazzed up like it was my birthday, like my 10th birthday or something. When like you're a little kid and birthdays are like a big deal. It feels like a party is what I'm saying. A fun light party. Oh God, it's a fun light party. Anyway, so I like that. Now, I will say that the access to these devices, sometimes it is, I don't know, sometimes they are, to say the least, they are cost prohibitive now on some of them. But you can go on eBay, and if you're lucky, you can get some used ones for cheaper. But these devices can make communication or confirmation of communication easier, in my opinion, for more people now than ever. And I think phenomena, and I do think that the other side, whatever we want to call it, I do believe that with the growing belief in the masses, the more people who believe, the more communication will continue to happen. Now, it's a chicken or an egg. Is that what you're thinking right now? Well, more people believe, so more people are going to believe that they've been communicated with. Well, I guess that's just how it goes, isn't it? It doesn't outright negate the communication as being false or invalid or created in the mind of the experiencer. Medicine, placebo pills will work. Now, I'm not going to say I understand this, but I think we all can agree that it very likely, circumstantially, has something to do with the power of belief and the mind. And belief, I guess, might not even be the right word, but the power of believing in possibility or the power of possibility, right? If we put our trust, the power of trust, into something to work and it works, guess what? That thing worked. Whether it's a sugar pill, a real pill made of different chemicals, or whether it is a communication with a loved one on the other side who recently has passed. If we are getting information that there doesn't seem to be a real reason to get that information other than from the person that we're trying to get the information from, that would be successful. And that sentence probably didn't make any sense. But if you believe it made sense, it makes sense. That's another perfect example of what I'm talking about. It's very onomatopoeia what I just did in a theoretical onomatopoeia kind of way. So I believe that more people, I have chosen to believe, and it's also, I think if you ask around, you notice more people than ever believe in the paranormal. And as a result, more phenomena is communicating with us. Now, there are strength in numbers. So, understanding that there is a strength in number, I believe that the phenomena itself reciprocates the ability to believe or communicate or attempt to communicate. So is it possible, I believe it is, spoiler, that the more and more people try to communicate with the other side, the interdimensional, etc., with the stars, with ETs, entities, the more are willing to answer back or reciprocate that attempt at communication. Makes sense, right? I mean, it makes sense to me. I think that if we think about it in that way, that is probably the biggest reason why you may have more success today than you did 40 years ago when trying to communicate with the other side. And not saying that you couldn't have success, because clearly you could. I'm just saying that there might be more ghosts who are like, you know what, maybe I will talk to them because they see everybody else talking to them. Is it possible that ghosts can be influenced by other ghosts to do what's trending? I would like to think that we're not influenced by trends on the other side. Because if there are ghosts doing crowd work videos to put up reels on Instagram and TikTok, I hope I never die because I just can't handle that. Okay. As a comedian, I am not a fan of that. I never have been a fan of crowd work. I want to hear jokes. I want to hear the jokes that have been written. Take me into a world you've created, right? Through your jokes. Don't come into my world in the audience to try to do that. Bring me into your world. That's all I'm asking. So anyway, that's my bit on that. But I do believe that it's the sheer number of people trying to communicate with the other side has increased activity, has stirred it up, right, and has a domino effect on phenomena itself being willing to communicate. Because the more we realize that it is possible to communicate with the other side, quite possibly as a mirror reflection of reality, reality could be saying, oh, it's possible for them to communicate with us or us to communicate with them. Because there's some skeptical ghosts over there being like, I don't believe in humans. No, I'm just kidding. That would be silly. The skeptical ghost who doesn't believe in humans. I think it reminds me a little bit of that Bigfoot thing, like where it's Bigfoot saying, I believe in you. You kind of flip, you flip it on its head. You understand? You do a reversal. Oh, what does this say? Catskills Carl. Hey, you do a reversal. Okay, we're not doing this. We're not doing that. We're not getting into like attempting any kind of thing like that. Moving forward. I do believe that it's possible that as the universe continues to expand, the veil between the dimensions may thin. This is an idea that actually just popped into my head right now. Am I channeling? As the universe continues to expand and things get further and further and farther and farther apart, does it mean that it becomes thinner? Is this an interesting idea or not? I kind of feel like it might be. With the expansion of the universe, do the barriers between dimensions become thinner? Is that what we are experiencing when we talk about the thinning of the veil? And some will say that the veil has been kind of removed. I mean, we're in the age of Aquarius. I mean, this has happened. I mean, you don't have to look very far to question your reality anymore. Now, keep in mind, and we've talked about this before, I am referencing the world that is created for you to consume, okay? Now, if you are, if you take agency in your own life and decide, I will be in the world that I want to create, what does that mean? And that's a great reminder to have my buddy Noah back on the show. We've been talking about trying to get on the mics again, and we're talking about the imaginal world. But you walk outside your door, there is a world out there waiting for you, right? And some people might be like, it's doing more than waiting for me. It's looking for me. Okay, well, we all have different experiences depending on circumstances and moods, right? But it is also perception to a certain degree in some things, not all things. So there is a world out there that to me is the consensus reality, right? When it comes to consensus reality, I think of, the geyser at Yellowstone that just blew up. Just 2 days ago? That was wild. I'm thinking of the geological formations that all of us can see and admire. Mountains, the cold tingle of creek water in the summer coming down from snowy caps, from the winter's snow, right? This is the consensus reality, the physical to a sense. In a sense, it's the physical world. But you know what else could be part of the consensus reality, and in fact is the acknowledgement and the understanding of energetic fields and energy itself, which we all know is real. If energy wasn't real, why do I get tired? Okay, these are chemical reactions inside your body created by caffeine and or sugar or dopamine and excitement and arousal or interest or etc. blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, yeah, sure. These are all invisible forces. These are all invisible forces working inside. Invisible forces. There's a song I want to sing right now, and I can't remember how it goes or the words. You ever do that? Like, oh, I really want to sing that song. Except I don't know how it goes. I don't know the melody or the words. I can't even hear it, right? There's just a faint memory of a song I love, and it has something to do with invisible forces. Oh, there, no, it's gone. Oh, it's dodging me like a bat in a hallway at Post Town right now in pitch blackness. There is invisible forces. It's there. It's so close, yet it's never been further away. Maybe it's the expanding of the universe that makes these ideas harder and harder to grasp because they're outside of my reach now and because everything has been spread out. So, I don't even remember. Oh, yes, energy. I was like, I don't remember what I was talking about. Energy, these invisible forces. Maybe that should be the name of the podcast, Invisible Forces. Invisible forces. That's not it either, and I know that wasn't my best singing voice. Don't, please withhold judgment. These invisible forces are real. Now, how many of them do we have 24 perception and awareness of? That is the $1,000,000 question. I love this idea that we have like over 70 senses and that we're not even aware. We have so many senses we're not even aware of. It is speculated that we have so many more senses than we're cognitively or at least aware of at the forefront of our mind. Let's do another quick little break here. We're going to do some Mershes. And just a reminder, patrons, thank you so much. I love you. And I love everybody who listens. You don't have to give me money for me to love you. You don't have to buy my love. Although, I got to tell you. No, I'm just kidding. I would never insinuate that it's possible to buy my love. What kind of family were you raised in? Or what's your dynamic, right? What's your love language, as they say? I do love those questions. Like, what's your love language? Simple answer for me, all of them. Anybody else? Just me? All of them? All the things? Okay, we're going to be right back. And, I'm having fun over here. I hope you are too. We'll be right back after this short break. We're talking about invisible forces. And I'm back. And hopefully you are back as well. So here's what we're going to do. We're talking about invisible forces. We're talking about energy being real. We're talking about why it's easier to communicate with the other side or paranormal phenomena than it may have been 50 years ago, which I believe is probably true. And I think it's because of sheer numbers of people who are trying, being reciprocated by phenomena itself, access to devices that make it easier for people who communicate in different ways to understand that there actually is communication being reciprocated. And I believe, it's probably a lot of it is, so a lot of it comes down to belief and access. So, and I believe that, there's probably also something to be said about information not being gate kept as much as previous generations, maybe. I don't know if that's probably not entirely accurate as much as an open-mindedness, a willingness to I don't know, explore these topics and these ideas a little bit more. And the more people who are born, the more people who die, and therefore the more people who are alive that potentially have experiences with the spirits and or ghosts of the people that they love that were close to them. That could be a thing. It's just a numbers game, potentially. Do you have a story that you'd like to share and you don't feel comfortable using your normal name, or you just don't want to do it with, even with your voice necessarily? I mean, I could put, the idea is I will be, if needed, I'll be changing people's voices as well on the new podcast from the Outside Minds Network, Paranonymous, where I will be interviewing people anonymously about as they or what, how do you say it? People will anonymously share their paranormal experiences, stories, cryptid encounters, alien abductions, experiences of high strangeness shared anonymously. That's it, right there. Experiences of high strangeness shared anonymously. Can I remember that? I'm sorry, folks. I got to write this down. Experiences, because I will forget. This is the trick. That's why you carry a notebook with you everywhere you go as a community. Experiences of high strangeness shared anonymously. Paranonymous. I probably won't use that voice. That's experiences of high strangeness shared anonymously. Paranonymous. Paranonymous. So yeah, here's a number you can call. Oh, let me finish writing this down real quick. Shared on. Some people are just like, what's this guy doing? He's writing something down so he doesn't forget it. Paranonymous. Experiences of high strangeness shared anonymously. Under the cloak of secrecy, people share their encounters with Sasquatch, their terrifying abductions from ETs, and encounters with loved ones recently passed. I don't know. I think I said encounters twice. You don't do that. You don't want to repeat a word and copy. Okay, so 818-865-0563. That used to be the Mind Line. Well, it's the revamped Mind Line. There used to be a Mind Line. All those are gone. I mean, I had all these great, I had some really interesting voicemails left on there that I was not privy to share. And text messages as well. These Google numbers will let you text. So, so 818-865-0563, the Paranonymous Hotline. Leave me a message over there, and then we can connect, and I can send you a Zoom link to do the proper conversation. Or you can leave your story in 3-minute increments. I guess I just have to edit it together. But if you'd rather do it that way, just leave a bunch of voicemails telling me your story and just, give me permission to use it, we can do it that way. So 818-865-0563, the Paranonymous Hotline. I'd love to share your story without sharing your personal details with people, with the world. So 818-865-0563. I'm saying that so I'll remember it over and over and over again because I had to look up the number because I forgot. Let's see what's going on over there. If there's no real action over there. Oh, wow, I do have a text message that said, wow, George Clooney just said he's 100% Team Harris, 7 times match open. God, how is that happening? I've never used this number for anything. How am I getting spammed on it already? Okay, so let's just delete that. Or maybe we'll block that number so we don't get any more of these. I don't want people's messages getting spammed up. You know what I mean? Don't spam me up now. Don't spam me up now. So the Paranonymous Hotline is live. It's active, and it's ready for you. So, knowing that, will you call and share your story anonymously with the world without giving away any personal details about who you are? That'll be great. And it'll be a conversation that you and I have. Unless you'd rather leave it as voicemails, like I said, we can do that as well. So, let's put a bow on this episode here. I hope you enjoyed the interviews recently. Jim Harold is coming out next week, the host of Campfire and Jim Harold's Campfire and the Paranormal Podcast. He is like the Paranormal Podcast, OG, I guess is what you'd say. He's one of the OP, the original podcaster of the Paranormal, the OPP, original Paranormal podcaster. We had a great conversation. I look forward to sharing that with you next Tuesday. That'll be coming out. The video will also be available on my YouTube page. The video of Dash and I's conversation is also on the YouTube page, so you can go over there and you can watch the video if you're into that. You can do that. So every once in a while, all of the audio gets fed over to my YouTube. Now, every once in a while, a guest is okay with wanting to do video. Not everybody wants to be on video all the time, and I'm totally down with that. So when we can, we put the video out. as long as I get around to doing all the editing and blah, 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 syncing the audios, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So here's what I'm going to suggest to you. I'm going to suggest that if you have never, ever tried to communicate with paranormal phenomena, that maybe before the summer is over, you take a chance and you try. And I'd love to hear about it, because I am willing to wager that you may be surprised by your success rate. Will something strange happen? Potentially. Will something exciting happen? Maybe so. Will you have fun? Practically guaranteed. Disclaimer, I'm not suggesting you be reckless. I'm not suggesting you invite entities to inhabit your body or your mind or your aura or your soul or whatever. I'm not suggesting that you give them permission to make physical contact with you, to abduct you, or to hurt you in any kind of way, or to occupy your dreams from now until eternity. That's not what I'm suggesting. Maybe, just maybe, I don't know, see if you can't, skywatch at night. Go into your backyard. If it's not cloudy, look at the skies. Set an intention. Set a specific intention about something you may want to observe. Or, I don't know, don't set an intention and just go out there and relax and have a good time. And introduce yourself. My good friend, Daniel Noah, told me this story a long time ago, years ago. He said he was at a location and they were outside, and he just introduced himself and stated what he would want, what he wanted to see. And what do you know? Something was seen, I think pretty shortly after that. Now, Daniel is deeply intuitive and psychic and is in touch with, he's got a resonance of something happening that is, I'm not quite there. Let's just put it that way. He's got something going on, and it is a high vibrational resonance, and so it might take a little, and because everybody knows I'm thirsty for orbs. Okay, I am thirsty for orbs. I'm not afraid to say it. I want to see orbs. I want them flying around everywhere, right? And people are like, oh, you really want to see orbs that bad? And I'm like, yeah, I am thirsty for orbs. My friends know it. On investigations, they know I'm going to try to get some orbs there. Every time I'm on an investigation, no matter what the location, my buddies, my friends know that I'm going to try to get some orb action. And maybe I'm too thirsty for orbs, and orbs are just like, oh, maybe don't be so thirsty, maybe don't be so desperate for orbs, and we'll come hang out if you can just be friends. And I'm like, I don't know if I can be just friends with orbs. I think I care too much for the orbs to just be friends. But the orb's like, well, if you ever decide you can be just friends, let us know, and we'll come hang out. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for just being friends with orbs. Okay, I guess I can handle that. You know what I mean? I just love orbs too much. But, I don't want to be Lenny with the rabbits. I don't want to be Ryan with the orbs. Okay, so I have not summoned orbs to my location, and I have tried. I have seen flashing lights multiple times, so maybe I'm being a little too judgy. But floating balls of light that descend from the sky or seemingly appear from thin air, moving through the physical space with no restrictions, emanating an energy, feeling like there is an intellectual connection or a sentience that originates from inside these concentrated, potentially balls of energy, of spirit energy, as they weightlessly drift through the immediate surroundings, flashing different colors, potentially of blue or white or even pink or orange or red, varying in size from grapes to giant giant beach ball sizes. I haven't had that experience of the helium balloon of energy that seemingly knows my thoughts and I'm connected to its mind as well. We share this energy in the Monroe Institute and all of the Expanse app. One of the big messages from that app, and I guess I haven't, been the Expand app. Excuse me, I said Expanse, which is one of my favorite sci-fi shows. The Expand app, what a common message, and one of the messages that you will always get from them specifically, because I think it's at the heart of the soul of the heart. It's the heart and soul of Robert Monroe's message, is that we are more than our physical body. We are more than our physical body. So what does that mean to you? Well, to me, it means a few different things. And one of those things is that our energy can and will extend way beyond the ends of our fingertips or the tips of our toes. And that energy possibly contains all the information of our mind. So if that energy field overlaps with another energy field, and we are open to being able to decipher, understand, and not be afraid, that meshing of the mind, that sentience overlap, shared sentience, is that global consciousness? Is that the universal mind? Is that us finally realizing that there truly is no separation between us and other, whether it is person and or thing? Is that the key to realizing that our energy will expand as far as we are willing to believe it possible? And if there truly is no limit to the distance, the length, the width, the what have you, that our energy, our awareness, our consciousness can expand, if that is in fact limitless, that means potentially with the shared sentience, the overlap of ideas and thoughts in mind, that we truly can be connected to everything and everywhere at once. Now that, my friends, is thrilling to consider. So how do you do it? How do you unlock the key to shared sentience and overlapping intelligence and infinite insight? Meditation seems to be the answer. Which reminds me, I need to get back into my really solid meditation routine. Been slacking a little bit on that. Time to unlock the unlimited power of my mind and your mind. Shall we travel to the far reaches of the universe together? Shall we take a trip? And when I say together, I mean that, because if you are expanding your energy infinitely, and it intermeshes with other people's energy, you are now together, when in fact you've probably never really been separate. The illusion of separateness is what poisons all of us from time to time, right? And that's when we start thinking we need to put up a fence, keep people out of us and ours. Expand infinitely. Connect continually. That's not saying you'll be able to read the minds of every single person on earth simultaneously, or would you even want to? It doesn't seem plausible that that is even a desire you would have when you reach such a state of energetic transformation, of conscious, of conscious expansion. It just doesn't feel like you'd be hung up on those, like, I want to know what every single person is thinking. Wouldn't that be marvelous? Well, no, no, it wouldn't. It'd probably be a nightmare. Your head would probably explode. Now, I don't know. Some of you are thinking, well, how could I use this to get rich? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. Oh, we're wrapping this up right at 11:11. 11:11 p.m. on 7/24/2024. It's now 11:11 p.m. as we wrap up the recording. And I thank you for listening. Expand with me, shall you? Shall we? Shall we expand together? I mean, it's in the name of the app. Expand. It makes sense, right? Now that you think about it? Does it make sense now that you think about it? We are more than our physical bodies. Expand, expand, expand. Yazowzers. How about that? Okay, I love you. Hope you love yourself. I'll see you in Peoria this weekend. I'm putting everybody on the guest list. Reach out to me. Free tickets for every single person. Maybe I'll see you in Mason City. I'll get you in free to that show too. Or Bloomington. I can't do that probably. But then I'm at Go Bananas Labor Day weekend in Cincinnati. I'll be in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'll be in Asheville, North Carolina. Check RyanSarenComedy.com. See you at the watering hole in the astral plane.